This is so hard, you guys. I'm going to try to hold back the tears, even though they already started forming in my eyes because I just got done with the meeting with my dissertation chair. Most of you guys know that I have been in a doctoral program for the past 4 years, going on 5 years now, working on a PhD in clinical psychology out in Los Angeles, California. I moved to LA in 2016 to embark upon this journey and becoming a clinical psychologist. Put in a lot of work. I can't even begin to talk about the sweat, blood, and tears, you guys, that I've been through. And I meet with my chair every week, every Thursday. And we just met, and she dropped the news, the bad news to me, you guys. And I don't know why I thought that my cohort would be different. That I thought we would be different. My cohort would be different. And I know since the pandemic, students, high school students, college students, graduate students have been graduating virtually. But I thought my cohort, something told me, okay, by 2021, things will be different. I'm trying to fight back the tears, but part of me wants to feel my tears and feel the hurt and the pain, because I feel like it's a bummer to have to put in so much work. And what I've done over these past 4 to 5 years just to have a virtual graduation. When she said that to me, because she mentioned graduation and we talked about the date, and I said, oh yeah, I was going to ask you that because my mom, asked me when is a graduation date, because she and my family are planning to come to celebrate. And when she told me that it's going to be virtual, my heart just broke. I'm heartbroken inside, you guys. And being the person I am, I'm about balance, you guys. I think that's just my energy force. Like, I'm a person of balance. So I like to emphasize the good in every situation. Even in the darkest, saddest moments. So part of me is like, okay, it's a good thing. At least I'm graduating. Danielle, you're graduating with your PhD this year. But then it's just like, it doesn't feel real. It doesn't feel the same. Because everybody know part of the process of graduating as a doctoral student, a big part of that is getting hooded. And I'm not gonna be getting hooded. All of this freaking work to not get hooded. I said to her, are you serious? Like, this is final. They made the final decision to not have an in-person graduation, to have a virtual graduation. She said, oh yeah, for sure, because too many people are in hospitals. The hospitals are packed in Los Angeles, California. So given the increasing numbers of COVID cases in LA, there's no way that they will allow mass gathering. But I'm like, okay, but they are still allowing other things, right? Like, to me, some things just doesn't make sense, right? And they allow other things. Like, other things are still open. You can still have a gathering. Not a gathering, but you can still have a graduation ceremony. granted, we're not that many students. My cohort is what? We're like, I don't know, maybe 15 of us all together. Like, it's not that many of us. So I'm like, why cannot we have a freaking in-person graduation and just not allow the family members to come? Like, that could have been a different way to go about this, right? To say that they're not going to have an in-person graduation because they want to be in line with the restrictions and the safety precautions with COVID. And I'm just like, it could have been a different way. I mean, I get it. They want to reduce the spread, but I'm like, my mind, we could have had an in-person graduation ceremony. Family members could have watched from a distance, but I think they just undermine the importance of just being able to walk across stage and get hooded. I wanted to get hooded. And she was like, oh, well, when I see you, I can hood you. It's like, yo, but it's not the same. I want to get hooded during the graduation ceremony. And so, it's difficult for me to wrap my mind around this, you guys. And I'm talking to her, and I'm just like, was it a test? Was what a test? What do you mean? Was what? What? You're asking me, was it a test? What? What are you talking about? This is a freaking reality of what's happening. I get it. This is what we're in the middle of, right? But it just broke my heart. And I'm like, tears was just like forming in my eyes. And I'm trying to hold back the tears. And I'm just like, damn, don't sit up here and cry. Don't. Why are you crying? It's just getting hooded, right? It's just a symbol, like, and for a lot of people who choose not to pursue higher education, a lot of y'all watching this just like, big deal. It's just a piece of paper. Like, it's just, and I'm gonna still get my degree. Like, the degree is still happening, right? That's still official, you know. It's legit. It's just, I think the whole experience of it, you know, people undermine the importance of the experience of it. And granted, like, I have my niece, like, she graduated from high school during this pandemic. She graduated from high school last year, and I watched her graduation virtually through Facebook because my sister went live and recorded it through Facebook. And, you know, I can only imagine just graduating from high school. Like, that's a very pivotal moment in a person's life to have to go through, 13 years of school and including kindergarten, and you just celebrate it virtually with your name being called and them showing a picture of you. It's just like, that shit ain't the freaking same. And my chair was like, yeah, well, this is COVID, thanks to COVID. It's like, I'm not gonna cry now, but I will cry off camera. I have to cry. And I know there are other people who have been impacted by COVID in a much more significant way. People have lost family members, friends, lost jobs, lost businesses. COVID has changed everything. And for the longest, I felt like I haven't been that much impacted by COVID. At least I felt that way. Like, COVID hasn't really impacted me that much. I mean, I've been able to adapt very well, I think, to COVID. Life during COVID. You know, my livelihood wasn't necessarily impacted, right? Like, things for me still went on as they would have, right? I still continued with my training and my program, my internship, continued, you know. even though I was in transition from finishing up my last practicum in LA and starting my pre-doc internship here in New York City, I still started on time when I was supposed to start. You know, my training does look different though than what it would have, you know, had not COVID freaking existed. It does look different in the sense that I do work from home mostly. But I appreciate that. You know, I like the convenience of working from home, the independence of working from home as opposed to working in the office mostly. But I do go into the office one day out of the week. But I wasn't really, that didn't impact me in a negative way. I was just like, okay, I rolled with it. But hearing my chair tell me that graduation won't happen, and it's like, it's almost like it's not happening. Like, what's the Zoom? It's not the same as, it feels like it's fake. It feels like a fake graduation. It's not the same. But I guess it is what it is, and I know I'm not the only one, not the only graduate who had to experience a virtual graduation. It's supposed to be happening in May. I guess I can be thankful that I'm alive. I made it this far. I'm like halfway through my pre-doc internship, and I graduate in May. I mean, I graduate from my doctoral program in May, and then after that, I only have a few more months to finish my clinical hours, and then I'll be done with my degree. But it's just like, it's not the same. Just not having the in-person ceremony, that means a lot to me. I remember like graduating from Florida State University back in 2006. Big graduations, huge. This would have been a big graduation. Because even though my program, like my cohort, we're, I think, I don't know how many of us, like, is it 12 to 15? But it's other programs too. So we had the graduation at this big civic center. It was supposed to happen at a big civic center out in Los Angeles, California. A lot of people would have shown up. It would have been this big thing, and it's just like, to not be able to have that, you know. Graduating from Florida State University, I remember that was like, oh my gosh. That was just, it's a moment to remember. It's just like the whole preparation of, you know, getting ready for graduation day, inviting all your family members, and putting on your cap and gown, waiting for your name to be called, walking across the stage, getting the recognition for all the hard work that you put in. Getting your diploma. I guess I just imagine, you know how like you plan for things and you expect things to happen. So I just saw myself like being hooded. That's what, you know, doctoral students, we get once we graduate, go through the graduation ceremony, we get hooded. But of course, like we talked about it, I can still buy the cap and gown. I can still take pictures, but just not going to be able to get hooded. It's just like, oh my gosh, it's not the same. It's not the same. But okay, I guess I'm done with my pity party. I think I feel like an overwhelm of emotion though, because it's not so much about not so much about not being able to experience a traditional graduation ceremony as it is about just realizing, like, it just hit me like, wow, I'm about to graduate. I've been working so hard up to this point, and it's just like, fuck, May is just 3 months away. In 3 months, like, this shit is freaking happening. So I'm filled with sadness, joy, relief. Oh my gosh, relief. Being able to say, I'm approaching the finish line. I'm like, done. Been through a lot. All of that is going to go into my autobiography, because you got a lot of the stuff that I've been through. I do vlog, and you guys see that I come to you guys and I talk to you guys about different things, but you guys have no idea the things I've been through. A lot of things I have been silent about for very good reasons, but I think that it is important to be able to put things into perspective and to just share what I've learned through my journey and how I got to where I am now. So that's what my autobiography, American Dreamer, is for. And you guys, that will be coming out soon. But given this whole COVID, like, I want to go on tour with that book, and I'm like, I am not doing no freaking virtual book signing. Fuck that. I'm taking my shit around this country, around the world, and it's going to be in person. I want to be able to do that freely without this whole freaking COVID hysteria happening. So I might postpone the release till 2022. I've postponed it so many years. It was supposed to be released 2010. That was their first initial official release date, and here we are in 2021. But 2022, I think, is going to be the year for the release of my autobiography, my life story, my gift to the world, American Dreamer. That's the name of my book. So you guys should check out my page, because I created a whole page, a whole website too, for the book. And I'm going to complete it. I'm going to finalize it probably next month when I go on vacation. So during my vacation, I think I might finish my book. I've been through a lot. You guys. I'm going to end on that note. Thank you guys for your support. I don't know what to feel. It doesn't feel real. It feels surreal. It feels like this can't be happening. This isn't real. But it's real. So now I have a lot of things to digest, to process. I told my chair, I'm just like, this is a lot to take in. Like, this is a lot to take in for me, but